Hey everybody, so it's time to do episode 4 of the GoldSteve series. Now, I tried to film this a moment ago, but I didn't really like the flow of the video because I ran into some issues. And so I'll just be able to recap what I did, show you now that GoldSteve is going to be reaching the Silver League, Silver 3 time. And the big reason for that was because of the update of the fact that we can get packs if we get super lucky. And getting those packs will help you grow your account if you get even extra lucky when you open them. But the most thing it does for you is it gives something for you to do with those potions that seem like they're not worth getting. This is something they used to do for us in Untamed. You had to live a long time without it. Sorry if you've been struggling as a small account. But let's go ahead and get into the blog because that is the key to growing your account in the beginning. Later on, it'll be luck that is the key. And you have to get lucky when you open those chests. So as you can see, here's my GoldSteve account. I've gotten 7 followers. I'm going to go to all posts because I forgot to put one of them in my blog. And we're going to break down. So the most recent post I did was a Chaos Legion share your battle challenge for the Shadow Snitch. Now, we'll compare this to my first one. You'll see it got a much bigger reward than this first one. So this first post was pretty much bare bones, very quick thumbnail, just using lines, only small amounts of text, very simple battle. Didn't really talk about the card I was featuring very much. So if you want to see a good breakdown of a very beginner post, you can come check this one out on the GoldSteve blog. And then if you want to see how I upgraded this post to get a much bigger vote this time around, as you can see, the thumbnail took some more time, added some gradient to the words I added, and I just felt like overall this has a better look. It looks better on mobile. I still did the, got this picture from here again because Pixplay is, most of their pictures say you don't need to do this. You don't have to, but it's kind of a nice thing to do. So I went ahead and added it in. The big thing I added in were these new borders. So no more silly lines through it. Nice borders. Death themed borders for the death team. It's very easy to find these. They're called text dividers. If you search that right here, you'll find some, or if you Google search it, Splinterlands text dividers, you'll find some. There's some cool ones out there. There was a nice post that I got some more from. I'll probably feature that later on, but I just don't have it handy right now. And we want to keep this video going along. As you can see, this time I took a really good look at the card and I broke it down at where were the key levels to move it. It's all explained in the post, but in the beginning, you do want to get it. Do you really need to push it up until level 3? Not necessarily, because the extra HP is only somewhat helpful, but the extra speed is very important, so you better make him level 2, because then he'll attack first in a mirror match. Here, he gets an extra HP, not as important as you might think, but he's a secondary tank, so yada, yada, yada. I kind of broke it down like that, really explaining it all the way through the main levels. Then we did a much better kind of look here with explaining what the next section was going to be about, showing the screenshot like I did before, but a lot more wording, a lot more explanation. Did the recap of each one of the rounds. Those ones were kind of simple because, let's face it, we're fighting in bronze. You're not having epic battles. Got the battle result, and then I did a little recap at the end, and I made sure to have a join here with my referral link. It's better if you put your referral link in your post, because if you're trying to post about the game and then spread it out on social media and people come here, you want them to be able to click here and sign up for the game. Also, if you're somebody who does really well at these, has a good Twitter following, has a good following on another site, you can get affiliate rewards, and affiliate rewards will help you build your account quicker. So what did I do today? If you look at my overall blog, I had a couple post payouts. So my original post, which was pretty small, my first one here, and this one right here paid out too. This was kind of a bigger reward. So let's go ahead and take a look at my wallet to see what we did. I ended up, remember, I put 20 HP into this account. You'll see now it's at 25 because I did my first big claim. I got 4.938 HPDs. So it's about $4, maybe $5, depending on the day, because HPD goes up and down. So it's about $5. I got 5.5 Hive power. So now my account's at 25. So one of the things I just wanted to briefly mention is once you get this HP up to about 50 to 100, that's at the point where I'll start to power this account down to get additional Splinterland cards until it reaches another level. But I won't really do that very much because overall, I want to show them that I'm also becoming a part of the overall Splinterlands community, and Splinterland lives on Hive. If I don't ever have to do that, I won't. But if I really don't get lucky at all in opening chests in the near future, don't pull any really cool rewards over the course of making this, that's when I would start to be like, okay, I got to 100. 100 is good enough to blog. I'm not looking to necessarily invest in Hive. I'm looking to grow my Splinterlands account, and that's when you can start doing these power downs. Do know that they take a while for you to get the liquid Hive, and it's just one of those things. Again, you should pay attention to what's going on in Hive. You can also use these 12% APRs, these 2.89% APR on your HPD or your Hive power. So they're doing a lot of cool things on Hive. I think Splinterlands has helped brought some attention to them, but at the same time, Hive on its own is doing some cool things that you should kind of follow if you're a Splinterlands player, because you kind of become a Hive user as well, and you want to keep an eye on what's going on in this. Now, if we get into what I did with this money, I sent it over to tribal decks. I swapped it into Hive and then swapped that into DEC, and I got about 1,750 DEC that I brought into the game. So with that 1,700 DEC, I went on a rental spree. So as you can see now, I have 10,630 power, so that's enough to get into silver. I basically did that by targeting legendary cards that I didn't have that were cheap, and by adding some cards that gave me another team. And I did a few purchases with that money to add some permanent cards to my account, because eventually I don't want to need to rent to play. However, you could continue to play like that. As you can see, I have 500 DEC left. I was able to spend most of the DEC from the 1,700 to buy the few cards I bought, and then I dipped into my DEC that I had left over on this account for rentals, and we'll see if we can get into a little bit further. As you can see, also, if you rent on Peak D, you can use credits. I have these credits left because I've been getting credits in most of my chests. So far I've only opened a couple cards. I've got we'll go over those really quick. Well, the cards I got in my season rewards, I got a where is it? I got an Exploding Rat. I also opened one Pellicor Mercenary. That's why I have one extra here. And then I also had opened, let me see if we go to rewards cards. Which one was I rented an Oceanus. I rented this. I feel like I opened something else. No, I think those are actually the only two cards. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go into Peak Monsters, and first we'll look at what I bought. So I did buy enough Amplitudes to get one to level 3. I bought one Kelia, so that I have one of him, and I bought enough of the I forget the name of this card, but I made him level 2. Deep Lurker, I believe, and then I spent another $1.40 to get the squid to level 3, because I felt like those are the important cards to play in blue. Now, because I put them to level 2, because I went ahead and rented the Dice Summoner because it was really cheap at level 2, and I'll be using that one until I get Kelia. My blue team will not be that strong, but at least I will have the option to have a blue team for if I need it, because now that we're going to be fighting in silver, occasionally I might be kind of forced into blue. It can happen, and so I wanted to be prepared. What else did I rent? So we'll go over here and we'll take a look at my other rentals. Sorry, somebody is making some noise on my computer. I'm just going to turn down those speakers really quick. Sorry, breaking the fourth wall. No. But let's go ahead and get into this. So as you can see, if I went ahead and grabbed some legendary cards. So I got an Andela Brightwing. I got myself a, let me see, how can I filter this? First, let's look at the legendaries. Okay, so basically the account has a Desert Dragon and a Djinn, because I bought these ones on the beginning. I actually got the Desert Dragon swapped out for that gold legendary card that nobody wanted me to leave on the account, and the rest of these I'm renting. So I really grabbed Ifrit and Irza, even though I don't think they're great for bronze and silver, because they were extremely cheap. O'Shaughnessy is really good. I think for Thaddeus, the Jin is actually a pretty good card to have there as a secondary tank, because he's a pretty strong card, and we're getting into the area where we're going to see some higher mana matches, and he's just another high level card you can put on here. Then we go ahead and get into the Desert Dragon. Into the Adela, and so right here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This brought me 2,500 power. This really helped me make it to that next level. Now, if we go to the epic cards, there are a few more that I rented. So, I rented a Light Elemental. This really helps in the Earthquake match on the Life team. Having a flying 2 attack monster made sense. I got an Air Elemental. I'm going to go ahead and be keeping this one, but the Jin Chwala, I'm not actually going to rent any longer, because with the Desert Dragon, even though this card is better, it just doesn't help me enough for me to keep paying for it, even though it is kind of cheap, and I might open one eventually, and then I'd be pretty happy. As you can see, I'm only renting these 2 epic cards that I'll be renting in the future, but really epics are a good one for you to target to get some additional power, but also because you don't get a free epic, and even at level 1 the epics are relatively good. Now when we get into the rare cards that I rented on the account, let me just go here. Okay, so I got myself a level 2 Tarsa, I got myself a level 2 Serpent of Eld, a level 2 Living Lava, I got a Peacebringer just at level 1 because he'll combo well with General Sloan. I got the level 1 Centauri Mage, and so those are the main ones that I've rented, as you can see. Now, I did go ahead and do some purchases of a few other cards recently to help out my overall deck. As you can see, I have the Darpy Stalker. I got him to level 2. I got the Gargoyle to level 2, and I did rent some commons. So let's go to the commons. It's like, I know I rented more cards. We'll take a quick look at these. Okay, so I got myself a Wood Nymph for double healing. When I rented the Tarsa, it was really cheap to get a Charlock Minotaur at level 3, so I went ahead and picked him up. He already helped me win a match in Melee Monsters Can Attack from Anywhere. That's one of the times I'm going to be using Tarsa, so it's good to have this big secondary tank. He's got a True Strike, so he doesn't miss. I got a Pelagor Bandit at level 3 because that was a really cheap rewards card to rent, and it made sense. I have a Sea Genie, not going to keep him because I haven't ended up using him very much. So as you can see, I'm going to let him go ahead and expire. I thought he'd be a good card for the two magic damage, but just when you're not using when you don't have the +1 magic guy Alcor, then it doesn't really work. So I rented a level 3 Undead Badger because the sneak team on Death has been really, really good in Bronze, and so I expect the Undead Badger to be having that extra speed was just really important. This is something that a buddy of mine, Luke, talks about. You have to look for their breakpoints when it makes a big difference to get them to a certain level. You either want them to pick up really a speed or an attack. Health can be helpful, but anytime they get speed or an attack, it means that when they get into a mirror match, there's a good chance they're going to win that fight. I also rented a level 3 Serpentine Spy for that reason. A lot of people are not going to spend this money, and this is going to help me win a lot of battles. I rented all these cards for 1 week to see if I can go ahead and get enough money to re-up all these rentals when the week comes to an end. So now, when I look at the account, see here I could go through them all one by one. We are sitting pretty ready to go as we get into this new season. I'll push myself into Bronze 1, and then I'll fight hopefully my way out of Bronze 1 and into Silver. I was able to do this last season. I'm going to try to do a pretty good grind today, but I'm waiting for this 3 hours to tick by. I played a little bit here, but I don't want to make my capture rate go any lower because I want to wait for the new season is started, but the new pool for DEC hasn't started. So this is something you want to pay attention to. The new pool doesn't come into effect until the new quest, until later on in the day of the first day of the season, and I believe it's going to be right about after these 15 minutes tick by, and it gets down to just straight 15 days left. So I'm going to double check that. You'll notice because all of a sudden when you do a battle, the amount of DEC you earn will go up dramatically. And when I was playing earlier today a little bit, I was only earning like 0.1 DEC, and I bet you after this one I'll start earning like 1 DEC because the pool will be refreshed, and that'll help me push this back up. So I'll kind of be tracking this now. I'm at 526 DEC. Obviously I have enough to at least stay in silver for this season, but the real hope is that by staying in silver for pretty much a complete season, I'm able to farm enough DEC, earn enough stuff at the end of the season rewards that we really push this account to the next level. Also, we'll be trying to make sure that the power eventually starts to go up naturally. So how are we going to have that happen? Hopefully we're going to pull a couple legendary cards out of rewards, or we're just going to continue to blog and continue to push cards level them up. Obviously my first goal will be to get Achilea to level 2 on his own. Then it will be to get a Tarsa to level 2 on its own. I'm going to concentrate in the beginning on leveling summoners because you can rent monsters relatively cheaply. They are far cheaper to rent than summoners. And then I'll have to play a little bit in silver and just make sure that I'm on top of who are the winning teams. Bronze seems to be dominated by Thaddeus sneak teams, or Kalia sneak teams, or well, Kalia opportunity with the really fast tank. I don't know, the name is, I'm forgetting it right now. Oh, the serpent is sitting up there in the front, and he's got that high dodge, high speed, all that extra armor, and then they have the deep lurker and those cards. So it's just kind of a breakdown right now of where the account is at and where it's going. As you can see, we took 12 days to really kind of play one season in bronze before we really decided to push those rentals, because I wanted to allow myself to get a few extra dollars from posting so that I could move a few common cards up to level 3, because it's important to have those cards past that level so that you can win easily in these lower leagues. And I do win pretty consistently. See here, I tried to use a level 1 Kelia and it just didn't work out. Though this was an interesting matchup. This was definitely a better play by this person. But I win most of the time, and as you can see, it's pretty much Thaddeus with a leveled up Curse Windu, leveled up Undead Badger, and a leveled up Silent Shiva. This pretty much wins in bronze almost all of the time. Let's see, when does that actually lose? Here it finally lost to an Obsidian deck. This one was able to beat it this time. And that was actually kind of surprising that I lost this fight. I actually thought I would win it, but I didn't. It was really because the Regal Patreon, I just missed it a lot more than I thought I would. That was pretty RNG'd on that one, but it happens. Because most of the time I can beat that team, but that time I lost. All right, everybody, take care. I like this kind of look at the GoldSteve account a little bit better. Last time I got kind of messed up showing you how to use tribal decks and stuff. If you want a video on how to use tribal decks, how to get DEC added to your account, let me know and I'll make a quick video. I'll include it in the series, but it'll be separate from kind of going over what the account is renting, how the account is growing, and the blogging that the account is doing. Obviously, the next post I'll be looking to do is taking advantage again, like I did with this post here of the social media challenge. I'll probably be doing a post that goes over the cards I rented, my push to silver, and some of those other things, but it'll be written out on the account. It won't be a video because I thought about putting these videos on this account, but not all of you are going to make videos. So I want to do posts that you can come and look at that in theory, if you're trying to make up a new account, you should be able to do. You should definitely be able to there's a program I use called GreenShot. You take screenshots. I've shown you where to go to Plixblade to get these background images. You can go to Splinterlands and easily get this logo. It's not hard to copy it. To grab these images so that you can paste them into these things, all you have to do on any monster in the game is click on them, click on the lore tab, and you'll see this beautiful image. You can right click and save it. So in case I hadn't shown you that tip, you can do it. Oh, the one thing to note on the Chaos Legion ones, they didn't give us the image without this background, so the background is going to be in it. So you got to play that into your image a little bit. You could see probably the one thing about my my post is that little box kind of looks not so good. But overall, I think it looks okay. but definitely it could have looked a little bit better. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions, what you want me to do. In the near future, I'll be kind of showing you how to battle and win in silver. I think in bronze, I've pretty much proven to you the most important team to have is Thaddeus, Curse Windu, Undead Badger, Silent Shiva. They win a lot, and they win a lot in the mana matches that you get, because in bronze you seem to get a lot more lower mana matches. I would say the next most important team is Kalia in bronze, but he does need a little bit more mana. I can beat him with this team because the Thorns makes the Serpent of Eld kill himself, and these sneakers just can kind of, especially when you add in the Carrion Shade, the level 1 flyer, because sometimes he can take a few hits to die because he dodges occasionally, and usually I can beat a Kalia deck, as you see here, right? Also, if you level them up, you'll have a much easier time. I'm also facing level 1s, so if these were level 2, it'd be different, but really Thaddeus beats everyone. See here, I'm beating Tarsas. Now, every once in a while, when I do get a very high mana match, I'll switch over to Obsidian and do a mana team, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But I would say that overall, I use Thaddeus pretty much 80% of the time, and I have a pretty good win rate. That was just one last little breakdown of that, everybody. All right, so keep playing, keep following my series. The post will be down here so you can watch them all again, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.